I vaguely remember Shadowfang Keep being a go-to for farming like light and medium leather. And I remember there being a really good spot in Duskwood where you could essentially just sit and skin because everyone was questing there. And the worgen back then were actually lootable beasts. They weren't exactly the playable human-turned worgen races that we've come to know today. But that leaves the thought, where is the best place to actually farm light and medium leather now?
I'm not stopping till we're exalted, sitting up with fucking millions. I ain't halting, I'm quick to pick it up and kill him. I take what he left off and continue to grill him. Electrified, I'm turning up the wattage. I'm a stalker with a machete outside your cottage. Once you're spotted and dotted, you're dropping and rotting. Me and X are just the opposite of Batman and Robin.
There's only one dungeon now that I know of that offers this kind of unique ability to try and grab light and medium leather, and that's Wailing Caverns. I've never really seen a Wailing Caverns farm, so I took it upon myself to sort of create one out of some assumptions. I'm a druid, I've got 3 sprints, and the entire beginning and right-hand sections of Wailing Caverns are all skinnable mobs. So that makes it really easy to run in, grab a few mobs, and run all around the upper section, dropping down and then running across the river into the next room where I AoE down everything, including the boss. Now, here's the problem with this run. You get a little less leathers than you would if you were to compare this to, say, Sunken Temple, where I farm thick and rugged leather, because a lot of the mobs here drop deviate and perfect deviate scales. And so, since this loot table is filled with more items that drop more, it's actually splitting the difference in the amount of leather that you would normally get. Now, you can argue that there are transmog pieces and things of that nature which do make this worth it in that comparison, but I'm really just looking for straight up medium and light leather, because obviously Shadowlands and obviously relics and people are buying this stuff up at a crazy rate right now. Medium leather right now is worth more than anchorweed. And as much anchorweed as I've farmed in my day, I just kind of find that really funny in a supply and demand sort of way. So what else is there then? Because I'm not too keen on going all the way out to Wailing Caverns every time I just want some simple light or medium leather. Well, I'm gonna have to break out from my traditional stance on doing dungeons, and I'm gonna have to actually do some open world farming. And the only 2 places that I could actually think of was Stranglethorn Vale and the Wetlands. I first thought of Stranglethorn Vale because it's the closest to Stormwind, meaning I could get there easily. And I instantly thought about the basilisks I used to try and kill back in the day for those stupid singing blue crystals. And I never realized they actually dropped off the basilisks further north, because I never read the damn quests. So I'm gonna let off some steam on these basilisks, and I figure, hey, maybe there's some people doing the Nessingwary quests and I'll be able to skin some of those mobs they killed too, which definitely was the case. Now, the basilisks have a better respawn rate when you're farming this stuff than the raptors or the panthers, so I wouldn't focus too much time on those. Only if there's people out there questing and killing do I keep my eye out for extra skins. The problem with this farm though is that there's literally nothing else, and so the gold per hour that you would make running Wailing Caverns starts to look a little bit more attractive in comparison. Especially when you're just sitting there farming basilisks and not getting much of anything besides light and medium leather and some gray items that aren't really worth too much gold at the vendor. So I figured I'd take the time out and head to Wetlands, and I immediately thought of the river crocs and the raptors and that sort of thing, but I totally forgot about cataclysm and what happened here. And thank God for the add-on all the things, because I was actually going to end up turning this into another video like my Feralus one, where I could farm skins and grind for a whelpling or 2 until I stumbled upon this little area here where the dragons spawned in an almost endless wave. And they were lootable and skinnable. Even the peons. Now, the druid that I'm on has skinning and tailoring, and this would have been absolutely perfect for that combo. Except vanilla zones aren't affected by the tailoring buff. So you won't be getting any extra cloth, but the cloth that you do get, in conjunction with the other loot, plus the addition of light and medium leather, all in one place where you barely have to move, and you don't have to worry about resetting a dungeon or a dungeon lockout, and the mobs are literally endless. Holy shitballs, Batman. This literally has to eventually get nerfed. But for now, this is the spot. This is the place where if you need an overabundance of light and medium leather and cloth and everything else under the sun, this is the place. This is literally the place that you need to be.